Hi, welcome to Making All the Plans. I'm Connie, and if we haven't met before, I'm a busy mom of 2 active kids, and both my husband and I have full-time careers. My goal is to share with you how I stay on top of all life throws at me in one planner so that you might be able to do the same. So I grabbed 2 Happy Planner sticker books, both which were my daughter's, so they've never been used before. She decided that she did not want to go that route, so I have Everyday Glam from Wrong Wrong and Glam Girl. And I've also switched up my planner pages, and I can tell right now that it's hard to see the lighter lines on my printout. But I took out the bottom sections on both sides and I put my goals for my 3 areas on the left, and then I have lines for to-dos for each section of personal, professional, and making all the plans. And then I took my prayer and verse of the day sheets and shrunk them down so they all fit on one page. And I did test out the layout on just a printable, and I wrote out some Bible verses, some short and some long, and they do fit. I just have to write smaller, and I think I'm okay with that. I was feeling pretty overwhelmed with my weekly spread and having to fill out so many different pages that I really want to condense things. I got rid of everything that was below my prayer list on my faith area, and then I shrunk that all together. I'm still doing the routines for now, and I did switch my goals into my weekly as well as my meal plan is in my weekly. So I'm going to try this out for a couple weeks and just see how it goes. And we'll talk about it more in the upcoming weeks if it's working. I am going to also mention that these 2 books are a struggle for me. Like I said, I bought these for my daughter, and she ended up not wanting them or wanting to try to use them in her planner. I am going to try to use them, but they're pretty girly, and I'm not usually very much into the girly kind of look, so we're gonna give it a shot. I'm usually more into the florals, and there are no florals in here, so I'm just going to flip through and see what I can find. I feel like the end product will turn out okay, but I'm also not familiar with these sticker books, so it will take me a little bit of time to flip through and just find the things that I want to use. I have been enjoying using sticker sheets instead of sticker books because there are fewer options, and I've already kind of culled those down before I print and cut them. I don't like printing and cutting stickers that I know that I'm not going to use, so I do that before I print and cut them. So here I am going through that culling process, but it takes a lot longer on camera at least, and I just don't seem to get as familiar with the books as I used to, especially the books that I haven't used in the past. I am really liking the color scheme of these books, and I do think they go well together for the most part. It's just some of the images, they don't match up very well. So I will end up using that box with the floral around it, but it doesn't necessarily fit, and I didn't want to have to get my undo out once I put it down, and once I pull a sticker, I really try to use it, but I was trying to get that same feeling through all of the stickers, and I think I did that for the most part, but again, it was a struggle for me. But the other reason why I have been enjoying printing my own stickers at home is because I can use Photoshop to tweak the colors just a little bit. So if I have 2 different sets of stickers, I can color match them and make them just flow a little bit better together on one spread. So I have been enjoying that. That is one of the reasons why I have not been grabbing my Happy Planner sticker books as much. Also, I just kind of got sick of using those same things over and over again. And even though I'm trying not to buy a lot of new stickers or digital images, I feel like I have enough digital images that I can kind of space them out. And even though I'm reusing them, I can make them look a little bit different just based upon the sizes that I print or which things I decide to print. A lot of the sticker packages that you purchase on Etsy come with more images than you could ever use on a spread, so I don't mind picking and choosing different ones for different spreads. So I'm now writing personal work and making all the plans, and this didn't print out perfectly, but it will be okay for this first week trial run. It also didn't print out correctly at the top either, so I'm not exactly sure what I did to the PDF of this, but at least you can see now how I am breaking up my days. Instead of just having general sections at the bottom, I'm actually going to assign tasks to each day. And I think that's one of the things that was broken before, was that I didn't have that ability to assign it to a specific day unless I was writing it up in that hourly area. And when I was mixing them in between meetings, they were getting lost. So I'm going to try this for the week and see what's going on after this week. So I am going to go ahead and just write in the schedule for this week. As of right now, we don't have a ton going on, but I do have a list of meetings that I need to get scheduled at work. So I'm sure it will fill up quickly. But I am just using my friction pen, and I'm going to grab some friction highlighters so that if any of those meetings or my kids' sports get moved around, I can just erase them and move them to their new date and time. And if you missed my most recent monthly review and goal setting video, I did mention that I split out my work notes from my planner, and I'm now kind of weighing if I'm going to even put my work items in this area, but I really like having everything in one space so I know when I have time to do different things. So I do like to run errands at lunch during work days if I'm in the office so that I don't have to make a special trip into town. We don't live in town, so it is a kind of a time suck to try to run into town to make a return or something like that. But now that I have updated my planner pages here and I have that separate notebook, I feel like I could give it a try for a couple weeks and then see what's working best. And I will just continue to tweak as I go until I find the perfect, quote unquote, perfect solution for this stage of my life. And it may change again in the summer when my kids' sports die down just a little bit, but then vacation season will pick up. So we'll just have to see where these spreads take us. And as I'm making tweaks to them, I always save my previous versions just in case I decide to go back to an old version. And before I forget to mention, the base of this planner page is from Passion Planner, and the original prayer list and quadrant layout that I have on the first page of this packet is from Squared Plans. And I know that I love having everything in one planner, but my main planner is getting kind of thick, and I haven't quite figured out why it's so thick. Maybe it's just because the planner cover is much thicker than my planner cover last year. That may be something I should look into, but I have a hard time carrying that with me everywhere and taking it to meetings. I really just wanted something a little lighter and streamlined for work meetings and things like that. So that's why I did break out my work notes separately. But ideally, everything would be in one planner. I just don't know what I can get rid of out of my planner to make room for those work notes. And I'm really not talking about the spread very much at this point, but I did also want to mention before hopping back to the spread that my mat is new. It is from my last haul. However, it is still not laying completely flat, which is why I have a bottle of water in the corner trying to hold down that corner. I keep putting my laptop on top of the part that won't flatten out in hopes that the heat from my laptop will help that lay flatter. And it is working. It's just taking a lot longer than I was hoping. So this week's spread took me a little bit under an hour, but really that just seems like a really long time for only decorating 3 pages. And I think one of the reasons why it took so long was because I was not loving these stickers. I'm not sure these are for me. I won't get rid of them just yet. I think there are a few things in here that may come in handy from time to time, but I don't think I'll ever use them as the basis for my pages anymore. But if there was a book with the same color scheme of all flowers, I would be all in for that one. I am trying to cram a lot of information into my packet now on fewer pages, so there's less room for decor. I will have to see if this balance will work for me. I do like to be able to add some decoration and some imagery into my planner. So I'm just going to have to see if this is enough decor for me or if I do need some more white space to be able to drop some quotes or flowers or some sort of decoration in amongst my plans for the week. Right now, most of the sporting events are in town, but once we start going to outdoor soccer practices and games and meets, those things are usually not in town. So we have either a 30-minute drive or an hour or more. I feel like most of the school events are either right here or they are over an hour away, and then my son's home soccer field is about 20 minutes from the house, depending on the traffic. So, a lot of these events that I put in the calendar, once we get to game season, there may be a 5:30 game, but of course you have to be there an hour early and it takes at least an hour to get there, so you're leaving the house at 3:30. So these times add up, and if I don't plan things out just right, I feel like I am just thrown completely off any sort of schedule. So I like to have all of this in my planner. I like to have my meals in my planner. I plan what meal we're having based upon what sporting event we're having that evening, and I try to make quicker meals on the nights where we have things further away, or maybe it's a crock pot meal or something that my husband can just throw in the oven if I'm the one that's going to the sporting event. We usually divide and conquer, but that's just another reason why I like to have everything in one place. There are times where I will run a kid to an event, but I have an hour to sit in the car before I go watch them participate in the sport. So I want to know what things on my list I can do while I am sitting there in the car. I also keep a running list in Notion, which I would like to show that at some point, but I like to keep a list of things that are not currently on my weekly spread. They may be in both places, but if they aren't on my weekly spread, then they're definitely in Notion. But that way, if I am out and about and I don't have my planner or my computer, I can at least scroll through my to-do lists and see if there's something that I can accomplish without my computer or my planner in front of me. I also try to keep my returns in my car and a shopping list in Notion so that if I do have a little bit of time and I'm in town, I can make a return or swing by and pick something up that's on my list. The only gotcha in that is I have to make sure that I have enough time to get to wherever I need to go, do whatever I need to do, like return an item and get back. There was one night where I ran and made a Target and Kohl's return, and those went perfectly smoothly, but I had also ordered some Chinese food to take out, and I went to pick it up and they were way behind, and I sat there and I barely made it back to pick my son up from practice on time. And the coach isn't really usually upset if we're a few minutes late, but it was pitch dark that night because it was just that time of year where it gets dark early. And it was hard to see the boys when they came off the field. So, yeah, that made me a little nervous. Next time, I definitely don't want to cut it that close. I'm going to stop avoiding talking about what I'm doing now because I did want to mention that I am in love with this new slice cutting tool. I've seen a lot of people use it, and I thought they must just be really good at using a cutting knife. But this cutting knife is so different than any X-Acto-like knife that I've used before. It just cuts things so easily, and somehow I can cut in a straight line when I've never been able to before. So I feel like this spread is about done. I don't love that gold brush there. I do love the brush, I just don't like the gold handle on it. So I think I'm okay with that spread. Now I'm going to flip back to the prayer and daily verse area. And I just wanted to put a little bit more here. I probably didn't need to because once I write in those boxes, it looks fine. But right now it's looking a little bare. So I wanted to try to find something else that I could put on this page. And not very much fits here. There are some books that have some prayer or faith related stickers, but this one didn't really. So I did go ahead and cut one girl out of the stickers. I just did a little fussy cutting, but I couldn't really find a good quote to go on this page. And I probably could have jumped up and gone and gotten more sticker books, but I really wanted to try to stick to these two sticker books and just try to use what I had in front of me. And it was a struggle. It really was a struggle. I also did buy some quotes from Etsy. However, they came in a weird way. So I do have to modify them before I can print and cut them. I thought they would be all together on like a PDF where I could just print and cut them directly, but instead each quote was a separate image, and I pretty much have to make my own cut file, and it's just taking a lot of time. I did decide that I wanted a little bit more gold on my weekly spread after having the brush with the gold handle. So I cut this girl out. She's in the bathtub and she has gold bubbles around her. So I am going to use that in the upper right hand corner. And then I will go back in and try to find a little bit more gold so that I can put it in the bottom left area. And usually this trick works where you put it on wax paper and then you can use your paper trimmer. But for some reason, this just wasn't working tonight, so I do end up having to trim it by hand with the scissors. So I'm curious, are all of you still in the original planners that you started out with at the beginning of the year? Have you had to change some things up in order to make them work better? Have you just been switching back and forth between different layouts? Let me know where you are, and if you are also struggling with anything, I just like to know that I'm not alone. And also, if somebody is doing awesome in their planner and finding something that just completely works for your life, I want to be able to celebrate that with you. So let me know down below where you are in your planner journey right now and how it's going for you. But this is my spread for the week and my packet for the week. Thank you so much for coming along with me. I know it was a little bit of a struggle this week for me. I know that I have weeks like this where I'm not loving my planner. I think that I'll enjoy using it, but it was definitely a struggle to put together. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Otherwise, have a great week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!